Good morning, everyone. My name is Aitor, and I'm excited to present the Mickelson versus PGA Tour legal conflict. It's an analysis of the evolving landscape of professional golf. This topic not only touches on legal issues, but also reflects the challenges and changes that professional golf is facing. I hope you guys enjoy this. As we begin, it's essential to understand the context behind its legal battle. Historically, golf has been characterized by its tradition and stability. However, this completely changed in summer of 2022 with the emergence of LIV Golf, which is a new league that disrupted the status quo by offering substantial signing bonuses and guarantees prize money. This challenged the PGA Tour big time, which culminated in an antitrust lawsuit which accused the tour of offering or engaging in anti-competitive practice. And the resulting litigations was intense and it was complex, and ultimately led to a surprising settlement that promises collaboration and the formation of a new golf entity. Today our discussion will follow this agenda. We'll do an overview of the context, we'll go deep into the legal conflicts, and I'll give you a conclusion of what I think, and this structure will guide us through the understanding of the difficult dynamics that play in this legal battle. Let's begin with an overview of the context, and for that it's important to understand the key players involved. First, we have the PGA Tour, which is the premier professional golf tour in the United States, and it was established in 1968. And it operates with a model of no guarantee salary. So players have to earn their salary every week in competition. In contrast, we have LIV Golf, which was launched in 2021 and was backed by Saudi Arabian investment. And it seeks to reshape the landscape of professional golf. It offers lucrative contracts and guaranteed prize money, which aims to attract top talent from the PGA Tour. Additionally, we also have to consider the European Tour, now known as the DP World Tour, which has historically provided a platform for golfers outside the US. Now let's look at the timeline. The timeline of events, well, it all started in August 21st of 2021 when LIV was officially launched. Then in 2022, Phil Mickelson made the headlines by offering to join LIV Golf, which was was a big deal in the golf world, and it created a lot of talk and controversy. And then in August 9th of 2022, the situation escalated significantly when 11 golfers from LIV Golf, including Mickelson, filed an antitrust lawsuit against the PGA Tour. And then just a few days later, on August 15th, 3 of those players sought a temporary injunction that would allow them to participate in the FedEx Cup playoffs. However, the request was denied by the court. As the litigation progressed through 2022 and into 2023, several players opted to drop out of the lawsuit, which led to LIV and PGA Tour as the remaining parties in the legal conflict. This shift indicated a narrowing of focus in the ongoing legal battle, and ultimately in 2023 a dramatic turn occurred when the parties reached a settlement agreement. This resolution marked a significant moment in the conflict, effectively bringing an end to the legal disputes that had captivated the golf world. Let's dig deep onto the legal conflict. It's important we understand the Sherman Antitrust, which is a key piece of legislation that seeks to maintain fair competition in the marketplace. Phil Mickelson and 10 other golfers accused the PGA Tour of creating a monopolist. So these allegations included retaliation against players who chose to join LIV Golf by the PGA. The PGA Tour responded by suspending them, an action that prompted questions about the tour dedication and to providing a fair and open competitive environment. In addition to that, there was claims that the PGA Tour resorted to threats aimed to sponsors and vendors to dissuade them from engaging with LIV Golf, a tactic that shows or that would solidify PGA's control over the market. This behavior suggested a willingness to use intimidation to maintain dominance in professional golf. Furthermore, the PGA Tour faced accusations of orchestrating an unlawful group boycott by collaborating with DP World Tour to restrict LIV Golf access to players. The PGA Tour was alleged to have engaged in anti-competitive practices that undermine the principles of fair play and competitive in the sport. These actions collectively painted a picture of a governing body willing to get to great lengths to protect its interests at the expenses of the players' well-being. Key features of this Sherman antitrust: the prohibition of monopolies. It's illegal to monopolize or attempt to monopolize part of trade or commerce. In professional golf, this means that PGA Tour cannot have excessive control over players' options and market dynamics. Restraints of trade. The Act prohibits contracts and conspiracies that restrain trade. The Tour's regulations could have been seen as restraining players from exploring opportunities in rival leagues like LIV Golf. And enforcement. Both the federal government and private parties have the right to enforce the Act. This means that players like Mickelson can take legal action against the PGA Tour if they believe their rights are being infringed. Understanding these features, it's important to understand the potential ramifications of the legal conflicts in professional golf. Players and LIV's arguments. As we explore the arguments made by the players and LIV Golf, it becomes clear that PGA Tour was at the center of the allegations. The media rights regulations prohibits players from participating in media events without tour permission, while the conflict events regulation banned players from competing in other tournaments, effectively limiting their participation in rival events such as LIV Golf. And these practices raise serious concerns about the tour favoring its own events and stifling competition from emerging rivaling tournaments. The implication of these regulations extend into player versus government body dynamics. Contractual obligations limit the players from participating in other tournaments, restricted opportunities, and players can explore other lucrative events, and pressure to conform to avoid penalties. The settlement. On June 6, 2023, the PGA Tour and LIV Golf announced a groundbreaking partnership aimed at transforming the sports of golf. This announcement came as a shock to many in the industry, including players who felt betrayed by the abrupt shift after an intense legal battle. The settlement included the dismissal of all claims with prejudice, effectively ending the litigation. However, it's essential to note that this partnership will face scrutiny from the Department of Justice, which is analyzing the agreement for potential antitrust violations as of 2025. So it's still going. While the partnership is framed as a joint venture, concerns remains about potential monopolist practices, especially given LIV Golf's previous intent to operate as an independent league. The dynamic between the PGA Tour, LIV Golf, and the DP World Tour will be key in shaping the future of golf, particularly concerning competitive fairness. To assess if the merge between LIV and PGA violates the Sherman antitrust, we can examine precedents from other major US sports leagues like MLB and NBA. First, we have MLB, which is notable for its antitrust exemption. It's the only professional sport leagues with a statutory exemption from antitrust laws. This exemption stems from a 1922 Supreme Court decision that ruled baseball games did not involve interstate commerce. This ruling allowed MLB to operate with a monopoly-like status for many years. Next, we have the reserve clause. For decades, players in MLB were tied to their teams indefinitely, which maintained the league's monopoly. It wasn't until the landmark arbitration ruling in 1975 that free agency was allowed, giving players more freedom of power over their careers. Following this, the Curt Flood Act of 1998 was significant, as it affirmed that MLB players are covered under antitrust laws, making a victory for players' rights and further changing the landscape of the league. Now, turning to the NBA, we see different but equally significant evolution. The NBA, for example, emerged with the ABA in 1976, a merge that was initially blocked by a lawsuit claiming that would violate antitrust laws. These legal challenges illustrates how competitive dynamics can be influenced by legal framework. Unlike the team-based structure of the MLB and NBA, golf is an individual sport where players compete independently, which makes it a bit harder. This distinction is crucial. The merge between the PGA and LIV golf involves significant international interest, primarily to the substantial funding from Saudi Arabia. This international aspect complicates the competitive landscape further. This merge has the potential to eliminate competition within the sport, significantly impacting players' choices, and it could lead to increased market control by a single entity, restricting players' opportunity to compete and negotiate contracts. The individual nature of golf creates a stark contrast with the team sport when it comes to players' mobility. In golf, players traditionally have more freedom to choose where and how they want to compete. However, in the PGA LIV merge leads to a monopoly. This mobility could be severely restrict, leaving players with fewer options and diminish their bargaining power. As we assess the implication of the Mickelson versus PGA Tour legal conflicts, we must consider whether current laws adequately address the evolving dynamics of professional sport, or we need to have reforms if reforms are necessary. First, let's discuss antitrust challenges. The prohibition of the Sherman Antitrust Act regarding monopolies and restraints of trade were central to the legal arguments presented by Mickelson and his fellow golfers. Allegations that the PGA Tour act as an entrenched monopolist bring to the forefront the question of whether our existing antitrust laws can effectively regulate modern sports leagues. Next, we must consider player empowerment. The strict contractual obligations imposed by PGA Tour have limited players' opportunities, highlighting a significant power imbalance within the sport. Additionally, the entry of LIV Golf has disrupted traditional market dynamics. The legal battle that follows illustrates how existing regulations struggle to keep pace with the rapid changes occurring in professional sports. Interestingly, the settlement between the PGA Tour and LIV Golf, though unexpected, indicates a shift towards collaboration. This development suggests that there may be potential for partnerships and joint ventures that can benefit both players and leagues. However, we must remain vigilant to ensure that such collaborations do not stifle competition. In conclusion, the entry of LIV Golf into the market has created significant controversy by attracting high-profile players from the PGA Tour, leading to a complex legal battle. The intricacies of this case, including the allegations and anti-competitive behavior and the subsequent settlement, highlight the evolving landscape of professional golf. As we move forward, both players and fans are keenly observing how this partnership will impact the future of the sport and whether it will lead to a more equitable and competitive environment for all stakeholders involved. Here you can find my references, and I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much.